What is going on, my Masketeers? Welcome back to another episode, and today we are here to talk about Shazam: Fury of the Gods, the second installment in the Shazam franchise. Now, where do I begin with this film? As you know, I normally do a breakdown, then I give you the good, the bad, and my final verdict. But with this film, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. The only reason being is because this film, in and of itself, I cannot give you the explanation without going into the good and the bad of the film. So, with that being said, let me give you the overall. The synopsis is this: Billy, now having his whole family empowered from the previous movie, they're all doing their thing, being superheroes, but also them going solo. Now, Billy has a fear that eventually his family will all separate. And because of his past, because he was abandoned by his dad, abandoned by his mom, he's internalized that trauma and he projects it outwardly to where he constantly wants the family to be together, even in terms of saving people. The number one rule that they have is they all save people together. But everyone's getting older and people want to stretch their wings a little bit. Billy's having a hard time doing that. On the flip side, we have the Daughters of Atlas. Now, the Daughters of Atlas essentially are the gods or the children of the Titan Atlas. For those of you that don't know your Greek mythology, Atlas was a Titan where once the war with the Olympians was finished and done with, he was tasked with holding up the earth, or holding up the heavens, should I say. But in this movie, it's a little bit different. Anyway, we're not going to get into all of that. His daughters are back. They want the staff of the wizard and they want an apple so that they can, I think, bring back the old gods or restore magic to their realm. It's never really been fully flushed out or explained what their motives are. But that's the general premise of this whole thing. Okay, now that I've done that, and I think I did a pretty good job, let me go into my review of the movie. I'm not giving you a bad, I'm not giving you a good, I'm not giving you a verdict. I'm just gonna give you a whole review. This movie is dog shit. It is dog shit, plain and simple. The movie doesn't make any sense. There's so many plot holes, and even the pacing of the movie, again, it doesn't make any sense. We have the Daughters of Atlas, right? They have been freed because in the previous movie, Billy broke the staff which the bad guy had. And in him breaking the staff was the only thing keeping the daughters at bay. But now that the staff is broken, they're free. Now, they come looking for said staff and they need the staff fixed. But somehow they have the wizard. Mind you, the wizard died in the first movie, but for some reason the wizard is not dead. They have him. They retrieve the staff pieces. They bring it back to the wizard because he's the only one that can fix it. Now they make the wizard fix the staff. You would think now that you have fixed the staff, you no longer need the wizard. So you would kill said wizard as he is a liability because he potentially could break the staff again, right? No, they don't kill the wizard. They just decide to lock him up. Okay, now, again, the sisters are after the champions, Billy and his family, because they wish to take back the power that the wizard stole. As you know, Shazam is made up of different gods. Now, here is where we run into a problem because Shazam is an amalgamation of different gods from all over the place. He's got the strength of Hercules, he's got the wisdom of Solomon, he's got the power of Zeus, he's got the speed of Mercury, he's got a bunch of other ones I think even the something of Atlas, whatever it is, or Achilles, I don't even care at this point. But he's an amalgamation of different gods. Last time I checked, Solomon was not Greek. Solomon is where? He's Judaic. Same thing with Mercury. Mercury is not a Greek god. He is a Roman god. Yes, he's based off Hermes, who is Greek, but Mercury is not Greek. So Shazam's powers are an amalgamation of different gods. Why are all these gods from Greece? That's where the problem now lies. These gods, or the sisters, right, they are Greek in origin. But mind you, not one of them look Greek because, again, Lucy Liu is one, and I don't know the last time I saw an Asian in Greece, but whatever. And then there's another sister who is literally a teenager. She's a teenager in looks, but she's technically 6,000 years old. Now, when I say that her whole thing is dumb as hell, reason being is because she somehow goes to a school to go and try and find the champions. Mind you, they don't even know that the champions are children. So why she's at the school makes no sense. So, on that point, she's gone to the school because she's looking for one of the kids, which is Billy and his adopted brother, Freddie, right? They happen to be friends with the champions because people saw them eating dinner one time, or lunch, should I say, together, and Superman walked in. You know the end credits of Shazam 1. So that's her big plan. Her big plan is she's going to go and find the kid that is friends with the champion. Here's the problem with that. How does she know that Freddy is friends with the champion? She has been trapped for the past God knows how many years in another dimension. She should not have this information, but somehow she's in the school looking for the kid and befriending Freddy. And even that relationship, hella suspect, hella sus. If the shoe was on the other foot, that would be pedophilia. She is 6,000 years old. This boy is 16, going to be 17, because he's a year younger than Billy. And Billy is 17, going to be 18. But somehow it still works. But if you got a 6,000-year-old man going out with a 16-year-old girl, that is problematic. But in this film, it's okay. It's okay. She's 6,000, he's 16, let's run with it. And even that relationship is forced. She knew this guy for 2 days. And in 2 days, she's ready and willing to betray her entire family. Mind you, who she has been with for over 6,000 years. And let's not forget, the whole reason why they came to this realm is to reclaim their lost magic that was stolen from them. And the wizard stole the very essence of their parents and all of their kin in order to make the Staff of Power. Literally drained them until they were nothing. So somehow you have been trapped for all this time. You're now free and you've come to reclaim your birthright. Mind you, they never even killed him or even hurt him, really and truly. They just made the threat of killing him if his friends do not give up their powers. Automatically, she's ready to betray her family. For a boy you've known 2 days, come on, that's a far stretch. That is a far stretch. And again, this film in and of itself was just terrible, from its pacing, from its writing, its dialogue. Billy, aka Shazam, he does not even act like a 17-year-old kid. He acts like he's 12. It was okay in the first film because in the first film, he seemed young. He seemed like he could be like a 14 or 15-year-old. But now that he's 17, going to be 18, Shazam still acts like he's a 15-year-old. Basic things still, for some reason, go over his head. And that shouldn't be the case for an 18-year-old, especially in today's age. It's terrible. 100% terrible. The rest of his family was just useless. They literally had nothing to do. So much so that they just found ways to keep them in the story when they weren't needed for the story, and the story itself made no sense whatsoever. There's a point where, there's a betrayal and one of the sisters kind of goes a little bit left. Even that made no sense. Her logic behind some of the actions that she did, again, made no sense. I never felt that she was a threat. There was nothing menacing about her. There was nothing threatening about her at all, at no point in time. It was just a jumbled up mess of a film. It's like they didn't really know what to do, because the DCEU, as we know, is changing after Flash. But we still have Aquaman, and then we have Flash, and then it's a whole reset, and James Gunn takes over. So this film was kind of like in limbo. And because of that, it really shows. And I just add, I watched this film and thought to myself, this is some of the worst CGI and fight sequences I have seen in a very long time, especially when we're talking about modern cinema. So I thought to myself, maybe the film's budget wasn't on point. No, I Googled that shit. This film cost between $100 and $125 million to make. For that CGI, that is terrible. Absolutely terrible. 125 million should not be looking like this. It shouldn't be looking like this. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it, Jeff. It was that bad. It was that bad. So, in closing, this film for me, I will give it a 4 out of 10, because there was nothing enjoyable about this film. There was no part which I liked. There was no part that stood out to me. It literally just looked like a very poor fan film. That's what it looked like. A poor fan film. There was no stakes. There were no payoffs. There was no emotional beats. Even the parts which were supposed to be emotional, they fell flat. There was nothing that this film offered me that made me think to myself, you know what, I'm actually going to be quite sad that this version of Shazam is ending. Even though the DCEU was a massive disaster, at least I felt that Shazam 1, it was a feel-good movie. It wasn't great, but it did enough. After watching this, listen, wrap the whole thing up. Wrap the whole thing up. We done. I don't even know why Aquaman 2 is even coming out. In this movie, there's like a surprise guest at the end. And you know what? I'm going to just give it away. This is the last time we're going to see Gal Gadot. And my God, what a way to go out. This is sad. She was wasted. Absolutely wasted. To be honest with you, they should have made this movie starring her and Shazam. It should have been Wonder Woman and Shazam. That makes the most sense. Because they both deal with the magic element, and this is based off characters from her realm, they should have had Wonder Woman working with Shazam, or Shazam working with Wonder Woman, however you want to put it. But this should have been a team-up movie if this is going to be like the end, essentially. Because she's not going to get a Wonder Woman 3. That's been scrapped. After Aquaman, that's done. Flashpoint, you're never going to see his characters again. So this would have been a nice send-off for her. But this film was so crap that maybe just saving her for the end was the best choice. But regardless, nah, it's not it. This is a 4 out of 10 for me. I didn't enjoy it at all. I was really pissed off towards the end. And those are my thoughts, my opinions. Please let me know if you watched the film. Tell me what you thought. Go off in the comments. And I will see you next time. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.